Hello, fellow Factorians, and welcome back to my Pyanodons challenge run. During the last episode, I hit the intermetallic milestone, which is a big deal in the middle of logistics science, although, in the grand scheme of things, there's so much in front of me that it's not even funny. I also set up antimony processing and mining, more duralumin, and improved my aluminum mining, all to feed the hungry intermetallics build, at least while it was active. At the start of hands-off period, I made a mistake where I forgot to go into it, and I only noticed later, so I was up to 390 minutes of hands-off time before I noticed it and corrected the timer. I think I got it roughly correct, and I'm not attempting to cheat the system. So, because that's 3 big technologies that I need to research, I need some tasks to fill out that time. Of course, there's plenty to do. I was looking at what target I wanted to hit for logistics science when I transitioned into it, and my goal is 720 automation science per minute, 480 Pi 1, and then I will make 240 logistics, and that's just at the start. I already have a setup to get to 480 Pi 1, at least the basic substrate and the research, so I'm going to finish up working on that. But I also want to add to my automation science because I've got a pile of Pi 1. It's a small pile, only about 10k, but if I can match automation to drain that out, that'll just make me get to those technologies faster. So that's the plan for today. Increasing automation science, building out Pi 1, and also a myriad list of little improvements and fixes that I found during the hands-off period to work on. So join me and the engineer as we get to work on all of that in the main episode. So if you look at my bootstrap base, I've marked quite a few things for deconstruction. I also started, let's jump into hands-on mode before I forget, like last time. I also set up something to collect myself a little bit of copper and iron ore because now I'm using it as a floor tile. It looks pretty cool. Like this is copper floor tile, and this over here is iron floor tile. And I figure I might as well take some of the stuff that was going to be just sent from SIP processing and use it there. So I've got a pretty big task list, and this is what I'm going to start on. I'm going to start knocking these things out. So yeah, I might do another. Well, maybe I'll just knock the tasks out and then when I'm marking them off, say what I was doing. So see you after I've done several of them. And this is the last task that I have in my bootstrap base. I don't know how I managed to get biomass on here, because since I thought I'd limited this correctly, yeah, this should be limited. I will set it lower. It's probably because I made this. Nope. I don't know how I got biomass on there. No big deal. I do understand why I might have gotten biomass in there. That's a byproduct of... These should also probably be limited to just being water barrels. Alright, I'll fix that. Odd choices here. Okay, let's fix this. And this should just be empty water barrels. I don't even know how this system was working before. Crazy. Alright. Let me grab the Digosaurs from here and switch this back to making caravans. This is another thing that I've forgotten. I made some Digosaurs and then just kind of abandoned them here. I've got a few other things just as cleanup, like marks in the base, but let's go through the task list real quick. I had a missing inserter on a foundry for my intermetallics. I had an unfueled petri dish build, so I fixed that. I had aluminum going on the wrong side and mixing with copper for my duralumin. I had iron plates that weren't flowing through when my small parts were finished building, they needed to just go up to the circuit build regardless of whether this is full or not. I set my brick collector here to go not just to get from the could level. I've got plenty of bricks in those caravan outposts in the depot, so it can collect from any of them. I added a stone collection chest so that I can build furnaces if I need to down here, or build, there's a tile type that I like that is just stone, made with stone, so yeah, I'm collecting up some of that, and then I fix that biomass. So I'm going to finish cleaning up the bootstrap base and then get to my fix-it tasks for the science base. And this is the last of the minor tasks within my bootstrap base. Still need to address a couple more. This is the last of the minor tasks in my science base, I'd rather say. So I cleaned up, I fixed the nickel inserter. There was a missing inserter on my nickel build. Added those 5 digosaurs. I removed some iron ore that had snuck into my iron build over there, as you saw. And now I have some more larger tasks. First one I'm going to tackle is coal gas. Coal gas is doing okay, but I've noticed that I really don't get enough to mine aluminum with here. And I'm going to do some work to basically, the way I'd been limited, the way I'd increased the amount of coal gas I got was to burn pitch. But what's happening is I get some coal gas in these tanks, and then the pitch system says, okay, well, now I can go back to not being voided, even though very little of it ends up coming down this line. So I have to adjust a bunch of controllable valves to try and make this make sense. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Add more controllable valving and hopefully solve the situation. Alright, looks like I've done a decent job of fixing my aluminum, at least for now. Imagine once this starts flowing again, and once intermetallics start getting made and syngas getting used up, that might not work so well. So one of the things I'm going to do in the future is add more tar processing, but not for now. So I fixed the coal gas. Let's do a little bit of work inside of my old automation science area. So there's 3 things I want to do in here. The first is really minor, but this stone line should be going to a different place. Yeah, this is unnecessary. A reason it's unnecessary is because that stone line should be routed to the could level priority caravan outpost, and instead it was going to a should level. So I'll just reroute this real easy. And now it'll go in the right place, and the right place is not getting made at all because, yeah, I don't need the could level. In fact, yeah, I've got some stored at the must level, so hopefully that'll get picked up before it becomes a problem. Next item, I want to start moving this, and then I'll be able to tear apart this build and kind of like remake it as my current setup using caravans, although I'm still gonna kind of like fake the caravans in there. I also want to stick in a real caravan here and block that stone line, so it's I want to transition more and more over to using caravans, in other words. So let's do this first. I'm going to set up the outpost where this guy will go to instead. All right, and that is some empty planter boxes refactored. Let's hope that this is going to sort itself out. My science should catch up once these planter boxes start getting made. So yeah, that refactors that. Eventually I'll be able to get rid of this small parts build as well, but I'm not going to do that quite yet. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete part of this iron production build. Big chunks of it are not running and will never run again, so I might as well salvage the parts and see what I can do with them. Okay, I've salvaged a bunch of jaw crushers, and the remaining parts of the line are much more active now, so not too much harm done in terms of productivity. So next on the agenda, let's look at my task list. Adjusted the optional stone line, clean up old planter box production. I just needed to place some moss farms that have been stuck in my inventory for a while in the Pi 1 build. I should also really go ahead and, yeah, I'm going to grab a whole bunch of moss modules. It's going to take several trips worth of moss module chests to fill out that build, so I might as well do it while I'm going to go down there anyway. Also need to clean out my inventory. All right, now I think I'm going to work on adding to automation science. I've got a build laid out here. I only want to build one of these, otherwise I'd be, I think, taxing my existing system too much. I do want to build a second one of these guys, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. Also, if I build a whole bunch of that much more automation science, I will definitely just clog up my chests and have production that like goes up and down more. So yeah, I'm going to build that out and be right back. Yeah, my liquid power system is really taxed hard now that I've gotten duralumin and intermetallics going in. Not to the point that I'm running out of syngas. Everything is kicked on to say, okay, make more liquid power. But yeah, definitely glad I've got all those fail safes. Okay, now I just have to set up a few caravans, and that additional automation science will be running. I also need this build to send it some metal plates. It won't run a lot, which is exactly what I want here. I also realized that I need a little bit more liquid fuel coming in to run those gas furnaces that I have. Yeah, it was not quite enough, so I'm going to provide some from my main science base with overflow from the setups that I have that are providing fuel to the gas furnaces in the Pi 1 area. So I just need to set this up. Let's move this here. And this is just another latch system, with the latch telling me that the cog will provide sometimes, and when it's not providing, the other system will. So yeah, that's about it. I had to fill in these high pressure furnaces too. I was getting enough coke, which was the important bit, but now I want a little bit more. So next on the agenda, while I'm right here, I've got a couple of windmills that have just been displaced and need a new home. So yeah, let's put those guys down. I'm going to go fetch caravans and set up the caravans that I need to collect the automation signs that I should be making pretty soon. I also need logs to come in. Well, that's okay. It'll all arrive eventually. Okay, and that's all my caravans programmed for that automation build. So I need to do figure out what to do next. Seems like coal gas is still a problem, so I think I will go ahead and just make some more, fill in this last little bit of this build with more DDCs, and then add some more tar processing, which I've planned ahead for over here. So yeah, I'm going to take care of that and be back soon. I hooked up more DDCs over there, although it's clear that I need more tar processing because tar is full and I don't really want to void tar. Also realized that I'd forgotten to do something out here, which is to hook up water. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. And there we go. Now more automation signs should be made, and hopefully this number will end up at least doubling that number. So, with that stuff built, now I'm going to go build more tar processing. Be back soon. Okay, and that is a lot more tar processing. Well, it's 50% more, which should power these builds better and mean less syngas is burned. So hopefully I will have more coal gas in the future. I kind of want to watch over this for a bit, and I want to extend the length of this episode so that I get at least the first mining productivity researched. So I'm going to just work on the Pi 1 build for a while. Yeah, nothing special to see there. So yeah, I'm off to do that. Ooh, Nexellet is full. I guess even with these very slow, like I know I massively overbuilt this, by the way. I just was building for a belt rather than building for what I needed. My mistake. Whereas this is not overbuilt. It's just that I'm guessing intermetallics is full, or maybe not full, but yeah, definitely the caravan outputs are full. What are you short on, actually? Vitralloy. Oh, okay. It's back to aluminum being the problem. So hopefully aluminum starts catching up. Okay, let me figure out what's wrong with this. Okay, it's the auto deconstruct mod. It is marking miners to be deconstructed, and for fluid miners, it tries to replace them with pipes, but until that happens, the fluid flow is broken, and because I don't have bots to come in and replace those, it's screwing up my fluid miners. So I'm going to have to disable that mod because it's really not worth the hassle that creates for the fluid miners. Okay, with aluminum fixed on this hodgepodge patch, I'm going to get to work on filling in that Pi 1 build. Prepare for a long intermission. Be right back. So I finished building most of the buildings in my Pi 1 build, but I noticed a relatively serious problem in this automation science build that I was doing. Seems that I was accidentally putting empty or planter boxes into my automation science outpost rather than automation science, and that could have been a big disaster. I think I caught it in time. Let's double check. Otherwise, my labs will be completely contaminated with planter boxes. No, they're not. Okay, so crisis averted in that sense, but I still need to fix it. So I'm going to do that and then get back to working on my Pi 1 build. Alright, and that's the whole Pi 1 build, except for one research lab, which I have to go find and fix, and a bunch of pipes that need to be connected, but won't be until I'm ready to run this thing. So, yeah, I'm going to do that, and then check my builds a little more. I did find a couple of corrections I needed to make, like, need to push a little bit more iron into the planter box here, and I wasn't getting fuel through these pipes fast enough, so noticed those were running low when after I'd hooked up even more fuel distribution over to that iron build. Ooh, and aluminum is not running, although, yeah, I figured out what this was. I have the auto deconstruct mod installed, and that is acting like I'm gonna have bots come here and fix these missing pipes, or rather fix the fact that the miners are getting marked for deletion but also need to have their pipe run through them. So that's not the greatest thing. For now, I'm going to live with it. No, actually, I'm going to just uninstall that mod. I don't need it. It was for convenience only, so yeah, I will get rid of it. Maybe later when I have bots, I will come back and add it again. Alright, here's the missing research lab, and then I think, let's see, I've got 4 hours, more than 4 hours, piled up of hands-off time. That's actually not quite enough. My mining productivity, this one plus the next one's probably going to take 6 hours, a little less than 6 hours. So next time I'm going to have to find a big task to do then. I don't want to push this episode too much longer, mostly because I'm starting to get a little loopy, and don't want to make more mistakes than I usually do. What else could I do? Let's check the task list. I placed these moss farms, and then everything else here is to get to the 720 automation 480 Pi 1. So I've built out Pi 1, and yeah, everything else here still needs to be done. I mean, I've worked on increasing tar processing and adding a little bit more hot air, but it's not enough to double Pi 1, and it's definitely not enough to double Pi 1 and then I'll add on all the other stuff that I'm going to need for logistics. So plenty of things to do in the future. For now, I think it might actually be good. Thank you so much for joining me during this episode. I imagine a lot of it is past listening to music for you guys. Hopefully I have picked something that sounds pretty good. Let me know in the comments what you think of my musical choices. Till then, see you next time. Actually, let me go into hands-on mode first. Hands-off mode first. Now see you next time.